So hello Martijn, welcome in the 570 GT.
Show me.
The doors that go up, 600 LT wheels, the diffuser. So there is a little bit of wind, you can feel that. What's up ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this POV review by AutoTopNL. My name is Max and today we are part of an exchange program. Remember that in high school and stuff like that you used to have these exchange programs where you would swap schools and houses with other students from other countries or whatever. Well, today we've got a YouTube exchange program. So we are driving AutoBAHN TV's McLaren 570GT while they are off with our BMW M3 G80 manual. So I hope they're having a good time. If you want to check out the videos that they are going to make with our car, go check out their channel. I'll link it in the top right corner. But today we're going to focus on their 570 GT and we're going to take it for a little drive towards the Autobahn for an Autobahn blast. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to receive updates when we upload a new video. And check us out on Instagram if you like, at AutoTopNL. So let's start with the spec because they've got this awesome silver. This is absolutely beautiful, especially on the GT, which is supposed to be the more comfortable brother to the 570S. So it can be a little bit more, well, under the radar is a bit too much because it's still a freaking supercar, but a little less obvious than a 570S. So this is a really cool color for this car if you ask me, especially in combination with that dark gray on the lower part of the front bumper, those super aggressive front lights. And the guys at AutoBAHN also upgraded their wheels. So these are the 600 LT wheels and they look absolutely stunning, and they are also a bit lighter than the stock wheels. And we've got these massive ceramic discs with orange brake calipers, a really cool detail. The GT has softer suspension compared to the 570S, so 15% at the front and 10% at the rear to make it more suitable for longer journeys and stuff like that. Of course, the added practicality also helps with that. So we can open the rear, this glass that opens up, and you've got an extra little boot here. As you can see, we've got our stuff in here, but it's absolutely gorgeous with this leather and this forged carbon here. That is just absolutely gorgeous. And I do think that the 570 GT is the better looking of the two. I think the 570S looks really aggressive, but the 570 GT with that sloping rear, absolutely gorgeous car. So at the rear, you can see the tailpipes, really cool, the diffuser. But my favorite part about these McLarens is that you can just see through and look at all the stuff that's behind there. All the heat shielding from the exhaust, that is just absolutely awesome. What a cool car. And of course we've got the doors that go up. So nice. That's drama for you. I mean, what a car. Man, every time I'm with a McLaren, it just activates that little boy petrol head in me or something. I don't know what happens. I think that's it. So, why don't we take a look at the engine? Yeah, let's do that first. So, I've got these buttons. No, that's for the frunk. Maybe you can't actually open this. But the engine is in there. The 3.8 liter twin turbocharged V8 with 570 horsepower and 600 Newton meters of torque. So on the inside we've got black leather, and actually there's a lot of leather in here. Everything is covered with it. We've got an Alcantara roof lining and of course the glass roof you get in a GT, which makes the cabin just feel a lot more airy and less like dark. Lighter in other words. But it is quite a big change from a 570S. This feels much more open because this is also open of course, and you have more light in here. It's quite a nice place to be actually. We've got the carbon fiber monocoque, as you can see. This is part of it, and that also means that It's a little bit of a quirk of driving a McLaren that your left foot, it's kind of crooked, you know, it's kind of with an angle. It's not bad or anything, but it is something you have to think about. Oh, he's just going around. Okay. Other than that, the interior, I mean, it's pretty nice. I know that the iris system here is not the best. It takes quite a bit of getting used to, and the functions are not that great. But I do like the minimalistic feel here. The Bowers & Wilkins audio in here is super nice in the door with this little tweeter up there. It just feels and looks really, really good. Yeah, steering wheel is, the position is super nice. Seating position could have been a little bit further back for me, of course, but that's in almost every car. And we've got the digital display over there. So down here we've got the settings for the gearbox, the double clutch gearbox, and of course we've got the active button right here, which activates the configuration for the powertrain and the handling. So this is quite a bumpy road. We'll start in normal for the for both, and then we'll switch it when we get to the road. And that's basically it. Let's take it for a little drive. We're going to pick up Martijn, who's over there. So hello Martijn, welcome in the 570 GT.
Show me.
I hope you will have a good time. We're in manual mode, and as I said, we've got the suspension in soft for this little bumpy bit, but we are going to change that when we get to this road here. Alright, so let's switch the suspension to track and the powertrain as well for the best experience. And we've got the pedals behind the steering wheel. Oh, that response of that gearbox is absolutely insane. Brake pedal is quite heavy. And that power, oh man. It feels like more than 570 horsepower and 600 Newton meters, but that's also because this is quite a light car. Weighs around 1400 kilos, of course, because of that carbon fiber monocoque, it's quite light. And because that gearbox, that double clutch gearbox is so quick. Oh man, it just feels so aggressive. And that's, I think, my favorite thing about the fact that McLaren has joined the supercar building family a few years ago, because it feels like nothing else. This really is a different experience. Because you have that twin turbo V8, but the good stuff actually happens when you get past 6,000 RPM. So it actually is rewarding to keep going, and that's just really cool. So it is a turbo engine, it sounds like a turbo engine, oh, but when you pull it all the way through, it almost has a naturally aspirated character. Oh my god, this thing is insane. Alright, so 0 to 100. We're not going to do launch control because we're not going to strain this McLaren's gearbox since it's not ours. Full throttle, first gear. Ah, that's still pretty quick. So it should be able to do 0 to 100 in 3.4 seconds. And the top speed is 328 kilometers an hour. Pretty serious stuff for a GT. Compared to the 570S, the steering is also 2% less quick, so the rack is less quick. And all the software for the drivetrain and the dampers and stuff like that is also different compared to a 570S. And you really feel that this is a GT. Even when you're on it. I mean, I've got everything in track. The suspension is still pretty soft. Oh man. It's dangerously quick, this car.
Ik zal even navigatie mee laten lopen.
Ja, het is hier links en dan alleen maar rechtdoor tot 31. Je ziet gewoon die teller hier. Beter deze kunnen houden.
Had jij hem al in de lijst gezet?
Ja.
Even snel als 488. Zo.
Ja. One of the cool features about this gearbox and its pedals actually is something really smart. These pedals are actually rocking pedals, so you can push and pull on both sides to shift up and down, which means you can actually drive it with one hand as well. So this is my downshift pedal, but if I push it forwards, it upshifts, which is really cool because it means that you can do both things with both hands. Just makes sense. Now with the 570GT, I have read a couple of long-term reviews, and on the internet there are a lot of stories about McLarens being super unreliable. We've had problems as well while filming McLarens, just breaking down or weird software issues, stuff like that. But the guys at AutoTopNL actually told us they have done 10,000 kilometers now with this car, and they really didn't have any problems with it. So I hope that McLaren has finally fixed those reliability problems, or are starting to fix them, because it is a problem with these cars that they have these weird issues. Okay, on the Autobahn. Here we go. Oh. That is insane. It's so powerful all the way to the red line. It just feels like it would go on forever. All right, here we go. 5th gear. So there is a little bit of wind, you can feel that. And we've got everything still in track mode, so that means that everything is hunkered down. So you can actually feel that the car is quite sensitive to like irregularities in the road and bumps, stuff like that. So let's see what happens if we go for sport suspension. Should be a little bit softer. And you can actually feel that it is a little bit less sensitive to whatever is happening underneath. But it's still, it still feels more like a GT than a supercar at high speeds. But my god, that engine is just such a gem. This drivetrain is among the best of all the supercars. It just feels so powerful and angry and immediate and racy. It sounds racy as well. The only problem I have with the 570 GT, and the AutoTopNL guys confirmed this problem, is that the rear of this car can get quite light. So if I brake hard here, you can feel that the balance of the car is shifting forwards, and there's not enough, I don't know what it is, aerodynamic pressure or whatever on the rear to make the rear feel like hunkered down. And the 570S, I don't think, has that same problem. And it might have something to do with the fact that this has the softer suspension, the dampers, and that you have this monocoque which is super stiff and rigid, and you have damping and suspension that is a little bit softer. It might be this discrepancy of those two that makes it feel a little bit weird at times. Second gear, oh, lovely. Those shifts give you a little bit of a kick in the back, and of course we also measured the 100 to 200 time of this car. I don't actually know what the quickest time is the AutoTopNL guys have reached, but we were able to do a 5.73 100 to 200 kilometers an hour, which is really quick. It's actually the second fastest stock car we've ever tested, and you can guess which is the fastest, the McLaren 600LT. So numbers 1 and 2 are now McLarens in our list for stock cars. If you want to check out that list, there's a link in the description below. So coming back to that stability issue, I know that there have been a lot of requests of people saying they want everything the S has, just with the look of the GT, because they love, as do I, the look of the GT with the sloping rear. So you can get a 570 GT with a sports pack, which will give you the entire setup, the suspension, the steering rack, everything of the 570S. So I think that might fix the stability issue, but one of my favorite things about this car is if you put everything back to normal, the gearbox and automatic, everything in the softest setting, this car is such a nice cruiser, and it is so capable in covering distances for a supercar. I mean, it is really impressive, and I don't think there are a lot of cars that can do this well. You know, if you turn everything up to 11, it is one of the fastest cars we've ever tested stock. But if you turn everything down, everything turns down. Even I do. I mean, can you hear it in my voice? It is zen. It feels really good like this. You can cover a lot of distance in this car. So this is our exit. I'm going to end it here. I want to thank the guys at AutoTopNL TV for letting us drive their McLaren 570 GT. I hope they enjoyed driving our BMW M3 G80 with the manual gearbox. Curious to see the videos. To you guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. You can subscribe by clicking the big button in the middle. You can also go to AutoTopNL TV's channel by clicking their logo somewhere in the right corner, or go check out this playlist of our reviews. Thanks for watching. See you at the next one. Bye.